So it's a kind of close to the ground yoga practice. Sometimes you need to feel more grounded, so you kind of lay low like that. But also we don't need to be super dynamic to make a state shift. And sometimes what's happening is we're feeling a sympathetic arousal. We're having a state shift that feels like it's out of our control. It's like anxiety going up. It's like a fight, flight, sympathetic activation. And for that, it can feel like, how am I going to come down and get really slow and low to the ground? How am I going to enjoy that process? So we have to practice this often enough that when we need it, when we're in the helicopter of the mind, when we're in the fireworks of anxiety, that we know we can come back down and make use of this squeeze release technique, that we can use our mindfulness to bring ourselves back home. At other times, we're not in sympathetic arousal, we're in the dorsal vagal slump. We're just feeling kind of hopeless or pathetic or apathetic or lethargic. And this practice is gentle enough that you can start it on the ground. You can start and say, can I just squeeze and stretch my hand? Can I start with one small movement to be like, I could consider making a state change right now. I could consider doing that. So what you're doing is really chaperoning or midwifing your nervous system, your own nervous system. You're giving the medicine that your nervous system could benefit from to come back to a ventral vagal parasympathetic nervous system hum. Okay, welcome everyone. So we're going to have a yoga practice starting with a comfortable seat so we can bring our mindfulness practice into the body and then bring this mindfulness practice into your yoga as well. So please rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. Gently tip your head down so your gaze is kind of in towards your heart. Allow your shoulder blades to relax. And for your heart to lift very gently. So you've taken this time to commit to a yoga practice, and that is so worth acknowledging. The benefits of your practice go beyond the time that we share. These benefits may echo into your evening, for example, but even more deeply when we practice yoga on a regular basis, we are creating internal changes that aren't just an emotional boost or a sense of physical ease for a couple of hours. It is a transformational path that's neurological, physiological, mental, emotional, spiritual, in every way. So to help your mind to be present here, let's take the hands and rest the fingers of one hand in the lap of the fingers of the other hand, and then touch the two thumbs together and rest that in front of the second chakra. And then bring your mind down to notice the sensations right there at the second chakra. The sensations of the fingers touching each other. The sensations of warmth, texture, contact. As your mind settles into those sensations, you might also notice that you could feel your heartbeat in your fingers. When you feel your heartbeat in your fingers, I sometimes call that the pulsation. So if you might notice the pulsation both when it seems to be striking, like you feel the pulse, And then the moment where you feel the absence of that pulse, like a wave has its ebbing and flowing, cresting and dropping. So when you're noticing that pulsation, it is both the striking and the silence, the ebb and the flow. See if your mind can notice those qualities equally, not preferring one or the other. Now, as you become more present, start noticing the possibility that you can feel that pulsation in your whole body. So this requires a subtle kind of attention. Appreciate yourself for the effort. And then please raise your hands to your heart. We don't evaluate our effort. We don't judge our effort. We appreciate the effort to practice. You may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands, and please open your eyes. We're going to use the awareness of that pulsation in the hands, which is the pulsation in the whole body. We're going to use that as the entryway into a practice. So we're going to do something that resembles progressive muscle relaxation from Herbert Benson's days a long time back. So I'd like you to lie on your back and to give yourself the space that you would have where the arms could go out into a T shape. So when you lie down, once you're down for that sunbeam, check that the arms can go out to the side, something like this. And then take just your left hand straight up towards the ceiling. And when you inhale, squeeze your left hand, make it into a fist. When you exhale, stretch the fingers out, spread them wide. And do that again. Inhale to squeeze. Exhale, spread. And twice more. Slow it down for the last one. Now, open your arm out to the side, and when you get about an inch or two from the floor, I'd like you to pause right there. And inhale, squeeze your right hand into a fist. Exhale, spread your fingers. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, spread. And one more time, we'll do it more slowly. And then lower your arm down and let it get really heavy with relaxation. And notice the difference between one arm and the other. Now take the other arm up. I don't know if it's left or right, so we'll use the other arm. Since you're not a spider, We have the option of it being left or right. We don't have 7 other arms to figure out. So spread your fingers on the exhale and squeeze your fist on the inhale. Let's start with the in-breath. So inhale to squeeze. Exhale, stretch out. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, open your hand, and we'll do it one more time, and this one will be a little slower. So slower, longer breath in. And exhale, slower, longer breath out. Now take your arm out to the side and come about an inch or 2 from the floor. On the inhale, I'd like you to squeeze your hand into a fist. Exhale, stretch it out. Maybe 3 times more. As you spread the fingers, stretch the entire arm to be longer. As you squeeze your fist, engage all of the muscles of your arm and your shoulder. And stretch out one more time. And then lower your arm down and notice as you rest your arms out to the side, see if you can bring your gaze to each hand as if your eyes were on the sides of your head. And notice the aliveness or the pulsation in each hand, all the way to your fingers and your thumbs. The instruction to imagine that you could see each hand is also related to your brain. So imagine you're gazing at the hands, maybe from the temples, from the sides of your head. Okay, now take both arms up towards the ceiling, breathe in, and reach overhead. Then exhale, squeeze your right knee up to your chest. Bring your hands behind your right hamstring. Inhale, take the arms overhead, lengthen your right leg on the floor. Exhale, squeeze the left knee up to the chest. Bring your hands behind your left hamstring. Inhale, stretch the arms open, take the left leg on the floor. And exhale, bring both knees up to the chest. Take your hands behind your hamstrings. And inhale to stretch out. And then exhale the arms out to the T shape and relax. Relax your body and your efforts. And imagine again that you could see both hands, right and left, from the temples, as if you were gazing out the sides of a cruise ship on the right and the left. Notice the sensations in your hands. Now we're going to repeat that and we're going to add to it. I don't know what's going to happen to Nakula here. You going to be okay? Okay, inhale, raise your arms up overhead. Exhale, squeeze your right knee in. Inhale, reach the right heel up. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your chest. Inhale to open. Exhale, squeeze the left knee up to the chest. Inhale, raise your left heel. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your chest. Inhale, take the arms overhead, lengthen your left leg out. And exhale to relax the arms. And again, imagine that you could gaze at your hands, right and left, through the side windows of the temples. Now again, inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, squeeze your right knee to your right shoulder. Now inhale, raise your right heel towards the ceiling. And exhale, squeeze your knee to your shoulder and raise your head to your knee. And then inhale to open. Exhale, squeeze your left knee to your shoulder. Okay. Inhale, raise your left heel. And exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose and bring your nose to your knee. And inhale to open. And exhale, lower your arms down, out to the T shape. Deeply relax. Imagine you can see your hands right and left. As if you're gazing from inside the portals of the temples. We're going to add one more thing to that. So inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, squeeze your right knee up. Inhale, raise your right heel. Exhale, bring your head up as you bend the right knee. Now inhale, raise your right heel as you lower your head back down. Okay, and exhale, take the arms overhead and lower your right leg straight, taking as long as you need to do that. Before you reach the ground, inhale, lengthen your arms and your right leg. And then exhale and drop that down. Okay, exhale, bring your left knee into your chest. Clasp your hands behind your hamstring. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Okay, exhale, bend your left knee, raise your head. Inhale, lengthen the left heel up. And exhale, raise the arms overhead, lower your left leg slowly, keeping it straight. And just come about an inch from the floor, and then inhale long. And exhale, let that go. Slide the arms down to your T shape. Imagine you can see your hands. left and right. Okay, please bend your knees one at a time and roll to your side without disturbing your kittens. I have taken much of my yoga mat. Are you guys showing how to stretch and relax? You're all facing to the east right now, so that's good. That's the way you're supposed to face when you're praying. So I don't know who you guys can see. Here, let me bring the camera. There's a whole little family right there. You guys. Yeah. All right. So let's come to table pose, please. So hands and knees pose. Place yourself on your mat, navigating with the visitors, so that you can step your right hand well forward of your left hand. As you step that forward, press your fingerprints into the floor, almost like it's your claws. And as you reach back, touch the left elbow down. Relax the weight of your head. Glide your hips back and lengthen the right side of your waist. It's okay to release the head. Even for those of you for whom it's comfortable, you might find that you're resting your head on the floor, but you don't have to make an effort for your head to reach the floor. Now breathe in and exhale, squeeze the breath out. And on your inhale, rise up to your hands and knees, straighten both elbows. You've got the right hand forward of the left, but come into the pose we call cow pose. And then exhale and reach back. So touch the left elbow down, keep the right arm straight out in front. And then inhale, glide forward to this cow pose with the hands staggered. And exhale, reach back, kind of like a one-arm puppy dog pose. Release the weight of your head. And do that one more time, please. Inhale, glide forward like cow pose. And exhale, reach back, touch the left elbow down. And then take it all the way back to child's pose. Relax the weight of your mind and your head. Now walk up to kneeling in Vajrasana. And as you rest your hands in your lap, take notice if one arm feels like it has more circulation or more aliveness than the other one does. Then we'll do the other side. So you see I have a little dilemma there because I have somebody's inhabiting my mat. Okay, so let's see here. I'll go this way. So take the left hand well forward of your right hand and press your claws, as it were, into the floor. Reach your right elbow down, relax the weight of your head. And then as you're breathing in, glide your hips back, and in lengthening the side waist, relax the weight of your mind. Remind yourself that you're influencing your whole system, and it's not just that being here doing the stretching is what's important, but how you're paying attention, how you're giving this mindful awareness to your body matters so greatly. And with your next inhale, glide forward to cow pose where your hands are still staggered. So bring the heart forward. And then exhale, reach back to this kind of one-arm puppy dog pose. Inhale, glide forward to cow pose. And exhale, glide back. And then one more time, inhale, come forward. And exhale, reach back, and we're going to reach all the way back to child's pose. Relax the weight of your head and also your mind. And then walk your hands back to your knees, rise up to kneeling, and check and see what the quality of aliveness in the arms feels like right now. Okay, so different ways of activating the system and getting a sense of like we're stretching, and that is actually applying pressure on certain parts of the body. Then the release of that stretch, you get this extra circulation moving through. Or like when we're compressing, we're squeezing and releasing, we're changing circulation pathways. And to do that is adjusting the physiological, like internal homeostasis. So we want to keep that in mind. We do have leadership within our own bodies. We can create a state shift for ourselves. So we don't have to use food to create that state shift. We can do it with yoga. We don't have to use compulsive exercising or restricting. We can use yoga to create that state shift. So let's place a blanket on the mat now for your knees. I'll take one of mine. And please step your right foot forward and put your left knee on the blanket. May I? And come down to your fingertips. Now, for some of us to reach the fingertips to the floor when you've got the right knee forward like this, it's really helpful to put blocks under your fingers. That'll be a matter of your genetic structure, like in your hip sockets, or maybe the tightness of the hips or the hip flexors, or in some cases, it'll be the length of your arms and legs, and just the general body proportions. So please use blocks to make this more comfortable if you need them. And then as you glide your hips down towards your right heel, notice that we've got compression in the right hip and the right knee. And we have an opening for the left hip, down from the left hip towards the left knee. And breathe in thoughtfully. And you could go inside and imagine that you can sense how your circulation is changing. How is that original pulse that you felt in your fingers and your thumbs? What do you imagine is happening right now? And curl the back toes under, straighten your back knee, and slowly straighten your front leg as well. Now the sensations have changed here and your body is still navigating circulation. So it's possible that you can feel your circulation. You might feel your heartbeat somewhere in your body. Could be your fingerprints. So as we next exhale, let's imagine that circulation moving down both legs all the way to your feet. And then as you inhale, bend your right knee and glide your left knee back to the floor. Place both hands to the inside of your right foot. Step the right knee back, and then step the left foot forward. Hi, Bindi. Yes, looking so cute there. Okay, so as you come forward, wouldn't you know that I trimmed all the nails of the kittens today except for this one, who is about to claw my ankle. Yeah. Okay, so as you come forward again, put blocks under your hands if you need to. Glide your hips towards your front heel. But also keep your front heel anchored. And listen when you're breathing in. Can you imagine the circulation going on inside your body? If possible, you can slow down your breathing. You're in no particular hurry right now. We do have deliberate compression on the left hip, and that compression is up against the left belly, so even for the descending colon. And curl the right toes under. Lift your right knee, straighten your leg, and then straighten your left leg. Energize your legs, and let's imagine that on the exhale, you're sending energy down through your legs into your feet. It's possible that you're going to sense the circulation in the whole of the body. It might be easier to feel it in a place like your fingerprints on the floor. You can picture how your body, on its own, it really wants to share all these resources, the breath, the circulation, the prana, the vitality. And what we're doing is giving it a chance to recalibrate. So as you next inhale, for example, bend your left knee, come forward, touch the right knee lightly down. And then step your left foot back, put the hands on the inside of your left ankle. Without hitting your kitten in the head, step the left foot back and come back to kneeling for a moment. Rest your hands in your lap. And see if you might put the fingers in the lap of the other fingers. Go back to the first mudra we were using. And if you might be able to feel pulsation in your body. Giving gratitude for that pulsation, which means that you have circulation. Let's take the blanket, please, and open it and then fold it in half, lengthwise. And do that with both blankets. So you have two blankets, they're pretty long blankets. We're going to lie on the abdomen here. So I want these to be stacked, and you don't need it to be a huge lift of blankets. So the pelvis is going to go right here. So lie on the abdomen so that you have your pubic bone on the edge of the blankets right there. And the tailbone is off the blanket. So if you were to think about scooping the tailbone down or lengthening the lower back, you have the ability to move your pelvis in that way. And then bring your head to center. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands. Now anchor the legs. Press down with the tops of your thighs. Press down with both knees and both feet. Lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels, and then inhale to raise up with your chest and your heart and your arms, like you're a bird taking flight. As you're raising the arms here, you're lifting up against gravity. Let's keep a really relaxed mind and see if you might sense your hands left to right from inside your head. And then exhale, return your hands to a little pillow. Rest your forehead down there. And see if you might notice the pulsation in your body. Now again, press into both feet, both knees, energize your thighs, tone the hip muscles. Inhale, raise your chest and your heart, squeeze the arms back. Raise your wingtips up and imagine that you could sense them. Your wingtips, right side and left side. One more smooth breath cycle in. And then make a little pillow of the hands and rest your head down again. And see if you might feel the pulsation in your body. Now we're going to do that one with our hands clasped behind the back. So you bring your arms around, interlace your fingers like this. Bring your head to center. Roll the shoulders up and back. Squeeze the arms. As you anchor your legs now, root the tailbone, and then inhale to lift up. Lift the base of your skull, even as you lift the head. So it's not that the throat is closed, but we're not lifting from the chin to come up into this pose. Squeeze the arms straight back, and please keep breathing with your legs grounded. And then with your next exhale, lower your arms down, turn your head to one side. And as you deeply relax, see if you can sense the pulsation in your body. And then one more time, bring your head to center, reach back and interlace your fingers. Energize your legs, root down with your legs, raise up with your chest and heart, squeeze the arms back. Lift the base of your skull. Be aware of the smoothness of the breath coming in and going out. And then exhale, lower down, turn your head to your right, release your arms down. And then place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press up to table pose. And let's do this. We're going to reach back into child's pose, but to give the support to the forehead, just curl your blanket a little ways. And then rest your forehead, but don't bother your nose. And as you rest your head, your hips are going to drop a little bit further back towards your heels. You can either have the knees separated and make some room for the belly, or you can feel how the abdomen has a little bit of pressure against the thighs and the thighs against the abdomen. And the breath is then required to go sideways, to go lateral. And then walk your hands back towards your knees, uncurl your blankets. And now with your blankets, I'd like you to do this. Take the top blanket, keeping it in that long fold, fold it in half twice, like that. Take the bottom blanket and open it. And roll it. So you're going to have a little bolster for the knees. So this one is lengthwise. It's going to be for the spine. Okay, now as we come into this, this is a restorative pose where we get to watch again the sort of circulation returning to the whole body. Notice that in today's practice, we actually didn't even really stand up. Okay, so let's take this now into a restorative pose. So if you sit in front of your blanket and the other blanket goes under the knees, when you lie back, you want to have this go under the spine. And then you take a little portion of the blanket right under your head and you curl it to support your neck. Tuck the shoulder blades under your heart. Take the arms out to the side with your palms face up. And then deeply relax right down the center line of your forehead. Deeply relax between the space between the eyebrows and up to your hairline. Relax the center line of the forehead. Deeply relax your eyebrows like you're closing the curtains on a window and becoming more inward. Invite your eyes to relax in their sockets. And just imagine that you're gazing right and left, gazing out the windows of the temples at the two hands, right side and left side. The reason we're using that specific gaze is that it brings us away from the internal drive of the self and brings us back to what's called the panoramic view, a place where we have an internal sense of the expanse, the panoramic view. As if you're gazing right and left. Allow your face to be deeply relaxed, very delicate. This internal practice with the eyes is ironically more and more effective if your efforts are more delicate, more soft. And gently continue the effort to relax your gaze inward and sideward. Let the mind and the body together be deeply at ease. Right now, as you're practicing, resist all wayward thoughts. Just resist thinking and give the fullness of your attention to the delicacy of the eyes gazing left and right. Now release the practice of the eyes and just allow yourself to rest in Shavasana. You might notice that your body and your brain were already willing to come to Shavasana. Allow yourself to have a deep inner rejuvenation. Allow your body to deeply relax, giving yourself the space and the time for rejuvenation. Welcome every part of you to be at ease. Now keeping this inner relaxation, so without losing contact with that inside, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. And use both hands to come up to sitting. And come up to your seat once again for meditation. Let's place the fingers in the lap of the other fingers. Touch the thumbs. Keep your mind focused down into the sensations of the hands. I know there's many other sensations that your body is experiencing. We're practicing this focus, like tuning a scope or a dial to be present with the hands. Observe when you start to feel the pulsation in your hands. It's been there through your whole Shavasana. Notice when you start to be able to feel it. And see if you might sense that pulsation quietly humming along in your entire body. So our ability to feel something so subtle is also like our ability to have the superpowers of mindfulness and discernment before we're in the escalation of or the plummeting of the nervous system. So as a chaperone of your own nervous system, this is training. And please raise your hands to your heart. As chaperones of the nervous system, may we bring in discernment and wisdom for both the short-term view and the long-term view. We take wise action in the present, knowing that it does change our trajectory for where we are going. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. You have a beautiful afternoon or evening, whatever time zone you're in for this kind of practice. May it be really nourishing.